So, in the last lesson, we learned how to get Excel to make this phone call to our friend, the database, and for that database to pick up the call. In this lesson, we're going to look at how our spreadsheet can tell the database what it wants and to get what it wants. To do this, we're going to use this block of code, which I have called getData_start. So let's open another module and let's call it mgetData and copy and paste this block of code, getData_start from your sample code. This is our starting point for today. When we run this, at this point, our spreadsheet runs the connection procedure. We already have this in place. And as we now know, it makes our spreadsheet make the call to our database. And this is where we hang up. The call is ended. And here is where we say what we want. What do we want? We have seen that there is a table called rockstars there, and it has a list of rockstars. We want that list of rockstars, just the names of the rockstars. The language that the database understands is called Structured Query Language, or SQL, usually referred to as SQL. Now, originally this term stood for Structured English Query Language, because it is like English. Elsewhere in this training, I explained the origins of SQL, that it's like arithmetic for lists of data. It is a standard all databases have, and you'll learn how and when Excel began to speak this language. Our spreadsheet wants to say to the database, select rockstars from TBL rockstars, or table rockstars. In fact, it's in two parts. The first one defines what is it that we want, the instruction. The second line of code is a standard line we don't need to change anywhere in this course. It just says, execute this instruction, just do it. So what we'll focus our attention on throughout this course is this, the SQL statement, the instruction. So, let's recap. When we run getData, our spreadsheet makes the connection. Then it asks for the list of rockstars. Excel receives it in its memory. Now, this is a concept you may not be familiar with so far when working with spreadsheets. We have always seen data when it is entered in a cell on a sheet. But here's the thing, just like calculators have memory, Excel also has memory, massive memory. So now, what do we want Excel to do with this data that's just been received in its memory? The simplest thing it can do is to paste it on a sheet. Where do we want it pasted? Let's say it's cell D4. This is just a simple instruction. Range D4. Copy from record set Rs data. Up to here, this bit looks fairly easy to understand, right? But wait. What is this Rs data? What is it there for? Now in this course, we'll get things to work first, and then we'll learn how it works. I found it's better that way, to start with the end result. That way we have a picture of what we have achieved, and you'll be curious, especially if it's magic. Now back to what is Rs data. If you suspected that that is what is holding the data that we have received from our rockstars table, you are right. But we'll go deeper later. So let's run that. See? That's our rockstars. Say we want their band name also. Small adjustment. Select rockstar, band name from TBL rockstars. See? Our rockstars and their band names. Now all this happens in the blink of an eye, very quickly. So what you've seen is a very simple get. Later in this course, of course, we'll be having variations on that. We don't always just simply want to paste the data onto a sheet. We may want to fill a drop-down, we may want to format it as a report, or we may want to load a pivot table with it. But all in good time. I'll see you in the next lesson.